Hey, what's up? This is Soulshine Reviews, and this is my review of Cryptic Shifts, Overspace, and Supertime. Sorry. This is the third album by an English extreme metal band. The band formed back in 2013, but this was personally my introduction to the band. Um, I would describe them as a band who play a very kind of technical blend of death metal and thrash metal with these huge sci-fi world building themes as a core of their identity. The album is released on Metal Blade Records. Yeah, I also got the album on CD. And what definitely stands out about this album, which you probably should start with, and is probably the reason why I listened to the album in the first place, which is the absolutely ridiculous song length on this album. I mean, the album opens up with a basically 10-minute song, but then you have the absolute behemoth track, Stratocumulus Evergol, which is almost 30 minutes long, which is insane for an extreme metal style. And then there's another 20-minute track on here, another 10-minute track, so absolutely insane song lengths. So I thought there must be a huge ambition behind this album. Yeah, just to think about that, there's two 20+ minute tracks on an extreme metal album is absolutely bananas. And to be honest, I was quite skeptical before listening to it. But I am definitely a sucker for complex and progressive music overall. So I was all in at first. What stuck out for me was the kind of atmosphere building on this album. The production and the playing style perfectly support this overall sci-fi and space theme. And this is definitely the kind of music I would imagine for an aliens to play or to sound like. Overall, there's some crazy switches on this album, so it's very hard to kind of put your finger on what makes this album special. The album is switching between so many different sounds and styles. You have a lot of technical riffs that remind you of kind of genty bands. You have very weird rhythms and jazzy touches that remind you of progressive rock bands. You have ambient passages, which I love. You have these storytelling vocals as a part of this concept album. You have crushing growl vocals and very dreamy guitar passages. So this is definitely an album that completely exhausts you in a good way. And you still want to return to it even though you have no idea what you've just listened to. And you kind of return to it because you know that there's something more to it, or that the album will probably reward you for listening to it more than once. The lyrics are definitely impossible to understand or even follow. Too many unknown words for me. And even with the CD in hand and the lyric sheet, it is pretty much impossible to follow the song. Starting off with Cryogenically Frozen. Definitely the best track on this album for sure for me. And this is definitely the one track that I would recommend listening to if you want to know what this album's all about. Because I feel like it sums up the album perfectly in one track. It has this great riff theme that the song returns to in different stages of the track. Has kind of building in the first 2 minutes with these very weird sounds, and then going straight into the great main riff of the track. And returning to this riff later in the track. Great vocals, great guitar passages. You also have a guitar playthrough on YouTube, which is definitely recommended because it makes you appreciate how insane these guys are playing. And I feel like this is one of the tracks that has these moments you can hold on to, that you remember, and so this track rewards you immediately, whereas the other tracks just overwhelm you at first. Yeah, so the second track on this album, Strategomulus Evergo, I don't know how to pronounce it, is definitely insane. So I have no idea where to start with this song. This song is definitely a journey in itself. They could have released this song as an EP in itself, and it has all the different flavors that I just mentioned before. But it is very hard to pick like certain moments that stand out for me, because it's just so overwhelming and there's so much happening, and I can pretty much say the same thing for tracks 3, 4, and 5. You have different moments in the songs where you really feel like you are feeling the song, and then at the next point you're just overwhelmed again. So this album is definitely a very demanding listen, with a payoff for repeated listens, but definitely not one of those, yeah, let me just throw this one on albums. So the negatives for me are pretty much that the album lacks structure when I'm listening to it. I don't really know where I am in the story, etc. Maybe because English is not my mother tongue. It's very hard to follow the story. I would say this is definitely music for fans of bands such as Vector, Cynic, or maybe even Opeth, but yeah. Overall, a very demanding listen. I like the ambition, but yeah, I'm definitely finding it hard to really love this album, although I really want to. So yeah, overall, I feel like this is maybe a 4.0 out of 5.0 star album for me. Yeah, so maybe you like it more than me. Whatever. See ya.